you lovely lot. 'Tis me. I have had a busy day today, and if you followed any of my posts, like you've got nothing better to do than watch me on Facebook, you will see that today I was at one of my relatively local NHS surgeries. It's about 40 minutes drive away from me. And I was interested in the people, the challenges by, sorry, I'm just fiddling with the tech, challenges that the group of people who attended came up with, because it was a real mixed bag, which is absolutely great for me because it means we cover so much. I talked continually for 2 hours, no surprise. That's no issue for me, talking. And it's quite a small surgery. Certainly the room is small, so we have room for about 23, 25 of us, which is really lovely, including some men, which was amazing. Had a gentleman there who was here on behalf of his partner, and a gentleman that was with his wife or partner, which was lovely. The rest were women, actually of all ages, which I loved, because again, can cover lots of different elements. The one thing I noticed I have taken away from that, which may surprise many of you, is that even though it's a very mixed group in terms of just anybody was allowed to sort of drop in, there was a reasonably high percentage of, was a reasonably high percentage of people attending who I would consider to be to have premature ovarian insufficiency, also known as POI, which is really, to put it simply, is when your ovaries stop functioning effectively before the age of 40. So you've gone into like an early perimenopause. I would have fallen into that group if I'd known what the hell it meant in my 30s, but that would have been me. And I was quite feisty with one of the ladies one-to-one, because this lady is 39, hasn't had a period for nearly a year, and no discussion of anything that's going to be done to help that, although I believe there were some blood tests. But blood tests, great to check for any problems, but HRT, as far as I know, wasn't mentioned. So it's really important, and I put this point across to her, it's really important that that is a discussion that she has with her doctor, because if you're going to go into perimenopause and going to become postmenopausal at a young age, whatever young age that is, it's really important that you start looking at replacing your hormones as soon as possible, because you are considerably higher risk of things like osteoporosis, heart disease, etc. So I wanted to be sure that that point came across, certainly on a one-to-one basis, because I did a group thing and a little bit of one-to-one stuff. Incidentally, I normally charge for my public speaking, but I don't charge for these NHS surgery speaking events, because it's really important to me that I can reach people who wouldn't necessarily be able to afford me, who wouldn't necessarily be able to afford to pay for a ticket, and the NHS has got no money. We all know that. So I'm really happy to help out so that I can reach as many people in these little pockets, these little surgeries as possible, because also that helps me to help the GPs to do a really good job. So another thing that came up, I'm just going to check. Actually, I'll have to check on my phone. Can't remember what I said. But I said on a post, there are another couple of things that came up. And one of those things, if I can find it, one of those questions was, or one of those statements was, I have tried HRT, and this person she was probably, I think she was in her early 50s. I have tried HRT, but it made me feel awful. So obviously I don't know all her background, but as a general comment, I said she wants to go back on HRT, but she's concerned, obviously, because she felt so awful. But when she gave me a very, very brief overview of what had happened, it was clear that the progesterone had been the problem, and that the progesterone had made her feel completely loopy, which again is not, it's not everybody that has this, but she's clearly progesterone intolerant to some degree or other. So we talked about how that might be approached differently for her, and I'm very pleased to hear that she found that very useful, and she's going to have a different conversation with her GP, which is amazing. I'm just looking at my phone because there was another thing that stuck in my mind. There was one lady who said she just didn't know anything about menopause, which is really common because, you know, you're not born with that knowledge. Nobody tells us about it when we're young. Certainly if you're not my sort of age, like a dried up old husk 58-year-old like me. If you're my era, or even younger or old, and definitely older, you won't know about menopause unless somebody has told you. And sadly, the doctors haven't been taught about menopause, although that is changing slightly, but the doctors haven't been taught about menopause because it's not even part of their training, or wasn't part of their training as they were being trained to be doctors. I believe there was an hour, not even mandatory, a voluntary 1 hour session on menopause with GP training. So I was told, which isn't enough, let's be honest, and not everybody would have turned up to that. And there are some amazing people out there trying to get GPs up to speed with actually what the facts that are actually out there regarding HRT, how to use it safely. So I really just wanted to highlight those few things that came up in the 2 hours where I was speaking to the group, to show that there's a wide variety of things and challenges that can come up. I can help with most of those in terms of pointing you in the right direction. I can assess what's actually going on to help you to have that conversation with your doctor. There are loads of things that you can do yourself when you have the confidence to do that. And a lot of it is that you're fearful of what might happen. There was one lady who said she was really frightened of taking HRT because when she was younger, she'd taken the contraceptive pill and it had sent her completely loopy. Very, very common again. It doesn't have to be like that because HRT isn't the same as most contraceptive pills. I was also sent completely deranged by my contraceptive pill when I was in my, I don't know, late teens, early 20s, can't even remember now. But HRT's been fine. I mean, clearly it wasn't fine from day one and then it was all rainbows and kittens, but I certainly didn't have the same effect, or same side effect, sorry, as I had when I had the contraceptive pill. Just needed to make a few tweaks and it was absolutely fine. So I just wanted to share that with you more so that you know it's unlikely that your question will be a stupid question. There really are no stupid questions where HRT and menopause are concerned. And if you need to know about it, if you want to know about it, I expect everybody else wants to know about it too. So feel free to ask your questions. I can't promise to answer them all individually, but if you ask the question, somebody else is going to have that in their head and it will normalise it for them. I'll do my best to address any. Clearly, a one-to-one consultation might be needed. You might be better off joining my programme. Have a look at my free resources on Menopause Or Not Mad. I post lots on here for free as well. So there's lots of different options. But don't ignore it. Don't think that you're on your own. Don't think that it's a silly question, because it never is a silly question. And if you're told, don't be so silly, you're causing a scene, don't waste my time, you're too old, you're too young, whatever, you're too anything, then the answer is you're not too anything. You can just ask for what you need. And it really isn't that complex. Menopause isn't that complex. I am nothing special. I happen to know a lot about menopause and HRT, but you don't need to know all that I know. You just need to know the stuff that applies to you. And that's a small section of everything that's in my head. So anywho, I've now emptied my head to you. Comment below, like, share, all the things, just to make sure that everybody gets to see this video. And see you on the flip. Bye.